Testing. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, and this is our pre-market analysis, QOL Trading. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back, everybody, if you're here daily. Let's go over our economic data for this morning. We don't really have anything this morning. I think the big thing is you got some earnings for MU after the close today, and then we have tomorrow we've got PCE price index. I think that's a big number that everybody's waiting for right now, and the GDP. So that's about it. You've got unemployment claims tomorrow as well, and that's all before the market opens. So, you have several things. You have durable goods. I know that there were housing starts somewhere. Maybe that's today somewhere. Yeah, new home sales today at 9 a.m. That's about it. So let's get right into things. Before we get into things, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Down below in the description, you can go to our website at QOLtrading.com, and you put your name and your email address in, and you will get a free newsletter every week. We put out 14 editions so far. It pretty much goes over the week in review and the week ahead. Cover everything from levels, from Mag 7 stocks, anything that's happening in the market, like SpaceX, of course, any geopolitical news that's happening, and what's to expect for the following week. So go to the website and put your name and your email address in there so you can get on that list, and it is free. And then lastly, below that, you can join our Discord community. And down there's a link below, and then that is for free. And then if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade to our trading desk, which we do live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then also some exciting stuff coming right now. We are marketing our chart analysis tool, which is pretty much plots your opening range for a 1, 2, 5, or 15-minute chart, no matter what equity you bring up or whatever symbol you bring up, and then it gives your charting analysis on it. So it's not it will tell you this is a good place that you could potentially enter the trade, but eventually you have to ultimately make that decision. That is your using your own information and your own back testing on whether you want to make a trade or not. It's just a charting tool, and it helps identify the levels so you're not fumbling around as the market moves. So that's going to be marketed as well on the Discord channel. So that's coming. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we're going to get that going by within a week or two. Just waiting for my scripts to be approved. We are doing that through TradingView. We're having the most success with that right now, and we will cover that later on in the video. So again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. We're going to start with the VIX like we always do right now. The VIX got elevated yesterday and then popped down a little bit. So we do have a little gap up here from yesterday, sitting down here at $17.81. It's sitting just above the 20-day moving average at 1756. As well as the 50-day moving average at 1778. We do still have some gap downs from April 8th at $25.74, and then the last gap down from March 30th when we started this tenacious rally, and that's sitting at $30.34. We really would like to see the VIX get down below here, this $15.74 level. That would take away the volatility in the market, and that would give people comfort. I think right now there's just a little uncertainty happening in the marketplace, and that's typical for the VIX to be elevated with that. Let's go into the oil right now. Oil, even though the VIX got elevated yesterday, oil continues to slide, which is fantastic. Like to see it get below the $67.83. It's a gap up from February 27th. We do have a gap down here at $84.34 a barrel from June 15th. That would probably like to see that get filled and then maybe pull back down below. So we'll see. But oil seems to be sliding down right now, so definitely getting some relief in the pumps. So that definitely helps everybody on their pocketbooks here. So let's get into the ES right now. The ES, we are trying to hold this lower end regressional trend line that I have here. It's sitting right here on a point of control as well at 74.46.59. I do like a, yesterday it definitely pulled back to this 50-day SMA at 74.27.40 and held. You need to hold the 74.27.44 level. It's a low from June 12th. If we lose that, 73.63.42 is a point of control level from June 11th. And then you want to hold that, and hopefully we don't make our way down here to June lows, which is 72.92.25. So that's definitely your line in the sand. You want to hold that right now. So right now it seems to be holding the 50-day SMA. As long as you're above that, longs should be pretty good. And then if we do get above, I would say this 74.91.50, you're going to have a nice little speed zone back into the 20-day SMA at 75.45. So ideal levels though for the pullback here on the ES. I've got it at the 100-day moving average at 71.49.66. It's also a high from, what is that high from? It's January's high of this year. So that would be a nice break and retest if we came back down and flushed out to that level. So we'll see how the market starts to respond right now and to see if it creates a little fear what's happening right now. But we could be consolidating a little bit. We're kind of stuck in between the 50-day moving average and the 20-day moving average. If you can get above that 20-day moving average, then you can start making your way back towards all-time highs as well. So let's get into the SPY. SPY is going to be pretty similar, and the SPY is actually holding this channel, pretty well here. I would say for today, got to hold the 734.84 level in order to continue to push higher. Same thing on the speed zone here. I would say the speed zone is probably 739.22. And then you could push back up into this high from May 15th at 743.46. On the downside, if you lose 731.75, which is June 12th's low, come down here to this lower end regressional trend line. You can see how it responded yesterday nicely there on the hold. But if you lose that, you're going to start making your way down to here to June lows at 722.59. Same thing that we said on the ES. You want to hold that. You don't want to lose June lows. But if you do lose that, 708.40 is an open point of control from April 24th. And then the ideal pullback long would be if the market pulled back to 698.96. It was a previous all-time high at the beginning of this year before the market slid, or before the market popped through that. So I like that break and retest. You break through a high and you come back down and use that level for support and see how the market responds there. So let's get into the NASDAQ. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. NASDAQ, all these charts are going to look the same here. You can see right here, though, this was a good level that popped up here, and then we lost that level. So today, you need to get above that 29,903.23 in order to push higher. If not, this is going to be your resistance level down here, and you'll pull back down here to June 12th's low, 29,507.67. If you lose that, you're going to hit this speed zone on the downside down to the 50-day moving average at 29,107.89. And I say you are, I mean you could hit that, right? All probabilities, right? So you have a speed zone down here. What is a speed zone? When it goes one direction without any kind of, tug of war from buyers and sellers. And, so you got a speed zone up here as well, too. And this happened after post-market, too. So not a lot of volume when this thing went down, right? Versus the volume that went up during the day's trading. So, you could definitely, if you get some decent news, I would say probably tomorrow. Everybody's waiting for PCE. You could pop back up into that 31,196, 197 level before you get a little resistance. Then, if you get through that, then you're gonna hit, you're gonna come back up here into this lower end regressional trend line that I have here at 30,526.46. So you could see a big gap up there, straight downhill, post-market, right, so post-trading for the day. So right there, that could be a nice little speed zone right there. But you can see right now, now you've got a little consolidation happening right now. You've got buyers and sellers having a little bit of a tug of war. So I would say right now you could trade these zones here, 29,753 and 29,903. So that will be your line in the sand right there. If the market pops up there, maybe you do a little pop and fade. Anyways, have your stops in place when you make your trades, people, right? Always, that's the first thing I look at when I make a trade. Same thing on the Qs. Qs right now, kind of, I think we're stuck here below the 20-day moving average right now. 727.85. If you get above that, you can move back up into this point of control level. 736.20, and if you get above that, you start moving towards all-time highs. 748.65. My ideal pullback on here. Let me get over here. Get some more days. I like this 668.80 pullback. I know it's below the 50-day moving average, and it's below this point of control that we have open at 723 from June 11th. And then also that June low there. That June low is important to hold in order for the market to continue to move. If we lose that, then we come back down here to that 668.80 or 90 level. That's a level I like for a pullback long. On the upside, if you get above the 20-day moving average, 727.85, you can then start making your way and pushing back into the all-time highs of 748.65. So anyways, let's get into Tesla right now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. So here's our Tesla chart for today. Nothing has really changed on Tesla, but you have the same thing here. You have some speed zones above that could, definitely, push the market higher into that 393.63. It's a weekly low from May 19th. So if you do get above this, I would say this, is that a regressional trend line I got there? Yeah. This is a regressional trend line from October 2nd of 2025. You need to get above that. If you can get above that, then you could start pushing higher. It's a midline regressional trend line here. It is holding this monthly low from November at sitting at 382.94. On the downside, if you lose that level there, yesterday's close 381.61 is an important level. And then let me see if this is a more recent regressional trend line here. Yeah, this one is from this year. So this one is just more current data here. So it held that a little bit yesterday. It lost it during the last hours, and then it tried to get above it. So that could be a line in the sand for you as well. If you lose that though, 372.45, and then the ideal pullback would be this May high of 2025, 367.71, and then don't forget we have that open point of control down here at 333.97. If the market does continue to flush, on the upside though, we do have some point of controls that are open above us here, so that's pretty nice. So we got an open point of control of 406.68. And that's from the 22nd. And then above that, we have a 425.95. Actually, that's a close from Friday, the 22nd. 455.18 is the higher end point of control that's open, and that's from June 25 or June 5th of 26. And then the last open point of control above us is 478.39. That's a nice level to get up there if the market starts to push later on in the year. So let's go over the Mag 7 here. So we did Tesla right now. Let's go over NVIDIA right now. NVIDIA is starting to flush a little bit. I would say 197.72 would be a decent level. If you lose that, then you got a 191.21 level. You'd like to regain this 201.85 level. Right now we're trading just below it. We closed at 200.04. And currently right now the market's trading at 201.20. So you need to get above this 201.85 level. So that would be good for NVIDIA. If you get above that, you can close this gap at 207. Excuse me. But if you do continue to get some more downside and you lose this 199.17 level, you could flush all the way down here to this 190.90 level. That's it for NVIDIA. Let's get over to Apple. Apple, same thing. Apple's holding this level pretty decent, this 289.50 level. But it is on, I've got a regressional trend line here that it's starting to respect also from, when did I draw that line there? I've got that one from January of 2023, and that's sitting at 298.28. So if the market does pop, you probably get some resistance here. You can see how it's respecting that already. And then you saw how it had a nice little pop off of this 290 level. So if you lose the 290 level, you could flush down here I would say to 280.94 on the downside. If you regain this regressional trend line here at 299.13, then I think you can continue to push, and you could push towards those 317 level, right? Anyways, let's get over to Meta. We'll fly through this real quickly. Meta's kind of sloppy. Nice little gap down here, though. I like that. You know, way up there at the 666 level for Meta, so 100 points higher on that side. On the downside here, we've got a point of control that's open at 539.79. And, you know, we're definitely getting pretty close to exhaustion on the sell-off here. So I would say you want to hold at 539.79 if the market does flush there. I think for today, what's going to be important today would probably be, I would say 556.32 for this week. You want to hold that level. If you lose that, you're going to flush to, you could flush to 539.79. On the upside here, if you could regain, where are we right now, 62. I'd like to push back into this 576 level. If you can get through that, then you can get back up in here and hit that 585.47 level. And then if you regain the 592.68 level, you're going to get that speed zone, if you know, popping through that 606 level, and then get up into the 618 low, where it probably would give you a little resistance on that end. So let's move on. Moving on to Google. Google's pushing a little bit right now. Where are we trading right now? I know they had a big purchase yesterday. It's trading at 348 right now. So big level here today, 348.30. We're above that right now. So that could be important. If you can regain that level there, maybe you push into the 365 level. I think if you lose 348, and you could potentially keep flushing. I would down to the 314 level. It's not a bad level there. Maybe get some support at 330 prior to that, right? On the upside, if you can break and hold above 348.17, maybe you could start pushing back up into the 404 level. Okay, let's keep moving here. Almost done here. And we're talking about Amazon. Amazon now. Same thing. Amazon looks pretty similar to Google right now. It's trading right now. We're a little lower than the close from yesterday on Amazon. 227.60. I like that for your line in the sand. You want to hold that level. If you lose that, you got a pretty significant gap up down here at 214. So that would be a level that I would see if Amazon does that flush out to. That's a level that I'd like to take that long. For today, right now, you're going to have to hold this 226.54. If you lose that 226.54, then you're going to flush. And we are flushing to, it's a December 31st high, and then a January of this year high, right in here, 222.94. On the upside here, if you can get that push over 237.47, speed zone here could potentially push up into that 247.22 level. Okay, we're moving on, and last but not least, Microsoft. I think Microsoft is just getting absolutely hammered here. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, so for Microsoft right now, and it is trading 370.70 right now. So it's trading below the close from yesterday. You want to hold this low 366.47. If you lose that, you could potentially flush down to this 357.36 level is what I got here. It's right in this regressional trend line too. So you can see it could be, you know, if you do get a pop today, 393.37. I know that's a pretty big pop for Microsoft. But at some point over the next week or two, if you pop up there, you could get some resistance there. On the downside though, if you did lose this 356 level, I have a level down here, 341. That could give you some support down there as well. And then, of course, if you lose that level, you could flush out all the way down here, which would be pretty ugly, down to 285. But you can just see Microsoft, it's, you know, lower highs, lower lows for how long has it been going on for? Since the beginning of June. So yeah, watch this right now. Right now, we've got June lows here at 360. Where are the June lows? 367.07. Got to hold that level, otherwise the flush is going to continue on Microsoft, right? Okay, so right now let's get into what we've been working on, and what we've been talking about is our our charting analysis tool, right? I don't want to call it an indicator to tell you when to trade. You have to make that decision yourself. But this is a 1 minute chart here on the left, a 5 minute, a 2 minute here in the middle, and a 5 minute here. So it will give you alerts. It plots all of these levels as the market is moving, so you don't have to be scrambling around with your tools or whatever chart you're using. And then it's telling you could take an early short, right? You could, when it breaks this level, and then it's telling you, well, a suggestion when you may want to exit, right? And so down here we have a table here. It's giving you the range, right? So it gave you the range 392.87. It gave you that low 388.59, and then it gives you the mid range right there, and then it gives you the total range and points, right? So $4.28 was your total total 1 minute range, right? And then 2 minute gave you the same thing. I think it all gave you the same thing on the 1 to 5 minute yesterday, right? So, and then it'll give you the grade, the quality of the range. It's a 91, right? And then it's a long grade telling you if A through D, right? So C is middle of the pack, gives you 54 on a 1 minute, 59 on a 2 minute, and a 56 on a 5 minute here. Now, right now the market, it tells you right here, it tells you down here session, out of session right now. So it's not giving you, what we're looking at right now. These tables are live. As you scroll back, these tables don't change. They're live on what's happening and what happened the day before. And then you get the levels that are moving for you. And then it gives you the grade on your short, right? So it gave you an 84 grade here on your 1 minute. It gave you an 89 grade on your 2 minute. Gave you an 86 grade on your 5 minute. Then it gives you the trend bias, short bias, short bias, short bias, right? And then it tells you down here what chart you're looking at. You're looking at a 1 minute down here, a 2 minute down here, and a 5 minute down here. And then as far as the filters that are on, you've got the VWAP and EMAs, right? And so right here, you could see yesterday you had that break there of 388.59. You could have gotten $2 initially, and then it gives you a price target, right? So here's the price target on the 1 minute. 1 minute is 384, so you could have gotten $4 out of that move, right? And then the same thing on the 2 minute, and the same thing on the 5 minute. So, and then it's telling you right here, when you're getting that purge of volume, it's telling that you may want to consider exiting the trade. So it's a great tool right now, and we're still finishing up. We're still refining it all, and hopefully we're going to get this thing to market within the next week or two. So things are moving well with that. So stay tuned for that. As far as what we're going to do for today, let's take a look at things. We're going to start with the today's expiration date, which is June 24th. And then we will start. So you can see I had the 390 calls up here yesterday afternoon. You can see where they closed at $1.30, and the market was flushing. But we are above the market a little bit right now. I'm probably going to change this because we are today's expiration. So for starting out for today, with the expiration today, you want to get closer to the strike price because you're going to have time decay on your premiums. Okay, I put too many in there. So we're going to start with the 385 calls. You can see your premium popped up a little bit here, $2.70. I anticipate, because we are above the close yesterday at 381.61 currently, that these may open up in the $3 range. And then we have the 380 puts down here. I'm going to leave those alone. You can see where those close at $3.45. I like to trade the premiums that are at least $3 because the increments move in $5 increments, right? $3, $3.45, $3.50. That means for every one lot you trade and you sell it, it's $5 versus if you're trading in a premium that's below $3, the premium prices move in pennies, right? So if you traded a one lot and bought it at $2.70, you sold it at $2.71, you made $1, but after commissions you're losing money, right? So here you at least you get you bigger bang for your buck when you're trading on a premium that's over $3. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be trading for today. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, hit that link down below, and go to our website so you can put your name and email address in there so you can get our free newsletter that we put out every Sunday, as well as going to the link below that and join our Discord community, and that community is free. And then also, if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade to our trading desk, where we do live trading from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time every day. And there's going to be some different packages that are going to be offered with that as well. Once the indicator, once the charting analysis tool gets published, and I'm going to start marketing that, there's going to be a separate package for just to subscribe to the tool. And if you want that alone, you'll be able to have that. And then in addition, if you want the tool plus access to the live trading room 5 days a week from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, there'll be an additional fee for that, where we're going to have the tool. We'll be able to answer questions. So to me, that's the biggest bang for the buck. An hour and a half a day, 5 days a week, for the month. You get a lot of time out of me and my years of experience from trading, and I have been trading since I've been on the mercantile exchange floor since 1989 to 1995, and then I went off the floor, and I've been trading off the floor ever since. So hope to see you in there. If I don't, I will see everybody tomorrow morning for pre-market analysis. Have a great day, and don't forget that we have MU reporting after the close today. Market could be a little choppy today, and then you have the PCE data that's coming out tomorrow before the market, and I think everybody's kind of sitting on their hands waiting for that. So, be prepared for the chop, trade your levels, and then watch for any kind of news coming out of the Middle East.